October is here yet again, bringing with it all the horrific imagery and terrifying tales that one would associate with the time leading up to All Hallows Eve. This year, we showcase a game featuring perhaps the most unholy creature to ever be featured on this show. Elephants! Yes, these titanic terrors who once fiercely charged into battle, crushing the bones of any who dare stand in their path, produced a petrifying sight for all of humanity to behold. Yeah, we're not doing a Halloween special this year. Instead, we're taking a look at Yono and the Celestial Elephants, a title whose most horrifying aspect is deciding whether its physics are more broken than its fundamental design. It is disappointing to say the least, after a slew of worthwhile indie Switch games like Golf Story and SteamWorld Dig 2, a Zelda-like game that often misunderstands the numerous design choices that made those games fun, resulting in a hollow reminder of a much better game series throughout the entire experience. Case in point, seeking out health exchange service areas to trade in your heart piece stand-ins is an unnecessary middle step that routes the immediate reward of completing the tetralogy by way of overcoming various hardships. Satisfaction of any sort is equally lacking in the actual uncovering of these bits, since so few of them require any level of critical thinking or present any form of challenge to obtain them. It never feels like the requirement has been earned. The vast majority are simply lying out in the open just waiting to be taken. One might make the argument that Yono could serve as an introduction to the Zelda-like genre for younger players, where those same players are not likely to lose patience, making the lengthy journey to return to where they last left off in a dungeon after respawning at the railroad, or be completely turned off / confused by the inclusion of a discussion of the inherent flaws in a society's political establishment? Oh, I'm not kidding about the last one. The penultimate dungeon in this game finds you ensuring the validity of the kingdom's most recent election results due to the potential influence an outside force may have on said results. Insert joke about the 2016 election here. The game isn't without its redeeming qualities. The titular elephant is adorable. It can even let a hedgehog or a turtle ride on its back or be dressed in such saccharine skins that it makes you forget that the other character models and environments they occupy lack that same attention to detail. To say Yono is in need of a good polish is to undersell the amount of inconsistency with event encounters and glitches galore that there are to gander in this meandering mess of a game. Take this room where a key was supposed to appear, except it didn't appear, not until leaving the room and re-entering it. Moments like these aren't an exception, they're the norm. A similar event happened in another room where this treasure chest was supposed to spawn a key, assuming you could reach it in time. After opening up at the very last second, the key did not appear. Not even after restarting the timer, since previous objects like boxes had disappeared once the timer they were attached to had run out. The chest was, and remained, completely devoid of a key. Again, only spawning it once the room had been left and re-entered. The physics have no shortage of wonky results from interacting with the objects in a given room, though they are occasionally helpful at overcoming the boredom-inducing puzzles. Yono's health is also inconsistent upon respawn. Sometimes the character will recover with a slither of health, other times they're starting with not a point to be found, effectively making them invincible. Though, like the occasionally off physics, the latter of these oddities can provide some relief, given the often poor hit detection that results in more than its fair share of unfair deaths. Even if these many bugs were crossed in a patch, oh, and did I mention that the AI is not particularly smart, the doltish structure of the dungeons and the puzzles being so simplistic in their solutions make it hard to muster up any sort of recommendation for Yono and the Celestial Elephants. One of the earliest dungeons features a dark room with a locked door and several fires that need to be lit before proceeding. The first of these fires that you'll likely encounter requires a switch to be weighed down by a box, which in and of itself isn't much of a challenge. However, given how hard it is to see in the dark dungeon, even with this new source of light, one might believe they can dash across this platform and see what, if anything, is across from it, or see if they missed anything prior to this point in the room, except the sole way to explore the rest of the room from this point on, if they do decide to explore across, is to move the block out of the way, but due to the narrow path and greystone so randomly placed in the middle of this room, moving the box out of your way, let alone returning it to the position of the switch it's supposed to be placed on, is an impossibility, thus forcing you to re-enter the room and do it all over again. Frustrating design choices like this perpetuates a plethora of problems with plenty of the painfully plodding puzzles. Suffice it to say that unless you're starved for Zelda 1-esque exploration experiences, and have already invested more hours into Breath of the Wild than you're willing to admit, Yono and the Celestial Elephants is a hard sell in its current state, earning a 4.5 out of 10. That's all for now, folks. Until next time, game on, my friends.